go in again with that mindset that, you know what, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be me, genuine, real, honest, sincere. People will appreciate that.
On today's episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat, we talked to Jason from Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce. We discussed the powers of networking and the role that chambers of commerce have on the business community. Let's dive right in. Jason, thank you so much for joining on another episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat. I'm thrilled to have you on, connected with you at Gelly's event, and calling you a connector is an understatement. I mean, it was awesome to see the energy and really, hear a little bit about what you do for the business community here in Arizona. And that's really excited to kind of hear your background, how you started the foundation, and just learn more about you. Just to hear what's all going on here in the Valley business-wise. So, before we get to the foundation, would love to just kind of hear your backstory. Kind of how did you get started in the business community and everything?
Well, thank you for having me on today, Dustin. It was truly a pleasure meeting you, Chaz, and your entire team at Gelly's event. Gelly always puts on a phenomenal event, and truly honored and blessed that we were able to all meet. I'm originally from New York, a small town in Long Island called Woodmere, and I've been in Arizona 27 years. I started volunteering at the age of 12, helping homeless individuals as well as elderly and disabled patients in a nursing home on a regular basis. While doing my volunteer work, my family struggled. We did not have a whole lot. We had to work for everything, and so I worked at a young age, whether it was shoveling snow in the New York winters or delivering groceries to elderly and disabled individuals. And my parents had divorced when I was 6 years old. So I had a really tough time in school because of my parents' divorce and because of the circumstances we were in. So my father had moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I was 11 years old. And I decided, along with getting my parents' blessings, to come to Arizona when I was 13 years old. So when I moved, it was a culture shock immediately. New York and Arizona, as everyone knows, very, very different. So I had to network at a very young age. And so when I was in high school, I started working at a local postal shop right by our home. And I had worked there most of my high school career, got to know a lot of the neighbors, started networking in groups like a Chamber of Commerce, started volunteering for various organizations, including St. Vincent de Paul, St. Mary's Food Bank, and Phoenix Children's Hospital. And while going to school, I wanted to make sure that I started an organization that was about giving back to the community. So I started an organization called Interact, which is the high school version of Rotary, which is all about service above self. And today it now has over 100 members consistently every year of students that are volunteering for various causes here in the community. And also in high school, I worked full-time as well for a marketing company. And I was concurrently working multiple jobs, making sure that, again, I was working as hard as I can, focused on my education and volunteering, of course. So then when I started learning about chambers of commerce and the benefits of networking, I became very, very interested in learning more about a career in that field. So after graduating high school, I went to Arizona State University, got my bachelor's and master's degree in 3.5 years, and then I also worked full-time. So I worked at a sports marketing company that did, it was a lot of fun. I also worked at a retail electronics store at Arizona Mills Mall and helped them with sales and management. And I also had this internship in marketing as well at a senior living community that I was doing on my own time. So I was gaining a lot of experience in a lot of different industries, trying to figure out where I really wanted to go. But the common theme was I enjoyed being a resource. I enjoyed connecting people. I enjoyed giving back to the community and those people, veterans, children, families that don't have what I'm lucky to have, helping animals find forever homes. So I had decided to go and be the first executive director of a Chamber of Commerce early in my career. I was recruited by some folks who I had gotten to know throughout my career with the postal shop to college to the marketing opportunities. And they hired me as the first executive director of the North Scottsdale Chamber of Commerce. Early in my career, I was there for a number of years, and we grew the chamber very fast and had a great experience. And then after that, went over to a nonprofit and helped to run his organization that had a foundation. And then I went over to another chamber of commerce for a couple years and had a great experience again. And then I realized that I wanted to, and I've always realized that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have my own foundation. So in 2014, my father, who is the most loving, caring, amazing person in the world to me, along with my mother, said to me, I want to start a chamber of commerce as a legacy for you and our family. And we started in 2014, the Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce. And we grew very fast. And it was amazing. And then in 2017, because we were doing so much philanthropy, raising money through fundraisers, volunteering our time, getting donations through donation drives, we started the Phoenix Metro Chamber Foundation, a 501c3 organization that is, again, committed to helping children, veterans, animals, and families. And they are based in the city of Phoenix or maybe in the state of Arizona, these charities that don't get the notoriety that a lot of the larger charities receive. So some of our partner charities include Youth for Troops, which provides care packages to deployed service members, and they also help homeless veterans. Military Assistance Mission, which is started by a lady that her son, unfortunately, was a casualty in the armed forces, and now is helping veteran service members and their families be financially okay and have other resources available to them. To Helping Hands for Freedom, which helps the Gold Star families and our veterans, to America's Mighty Warriors, again started by Debbie, her son was a casualty again in the armed forces, to other smaller organizations like Harvest Compassion Center, which provides food, clothing, hygiene items to anyone who needs it, to Dogs, Tails, and Wags, which helps to provide homes for animals. Just lots of great organizations that your dollar through our foundation, the impact is so great. And I love the feeling of showing that I care to a veteran, to a service member, to a family, to a child that really, really needs some hope, needs some strength, needs some joy in their lives. So this foundation has already donated lots of funds, lots of volunteer hours, lots of supplies, and will continue to do so. We have 2 charity golf tournaments every year. We just had one this past Saturday for Hope Kids, which helps provide support to children with life-threatening medical illnesses and activities for the child and the children and their families, so they can basically have experiences that they would not normally have given their circumstances and conditions. And then we also do 2 large pet adoption events every year with our partner Floor and Decor in the Glendale area, and we adopt typically over 50 pets. Dogs, cats, rabbits, lots of different critters. And then we also do fundraisers throughout the year. So for instance, next Saturday on June 26th, we're doing a paint day and night fundraiser. The funds go back to our foundation so we can support these charities. And at the same time, we're doing something fun. We're sponsoring folks that want to come in the community from our charities to have an activity as well. We just did this past Monday, packing of care packages with deployed veterans and service members through Youth for Troops. So we're very, very busy all the time. And I have always said that every day my why is, how can I help someone else be successful? How can I help give them the resources that they need for their families, their careers? Anything that I can do to help somebody else, the impact is going to be so great. Yeah. And I'm all about making sure that if you need something, I want to be someone you contact, someone that you can come to. And that's why I've loved being involved with the Chambers of Commerce. I love networking with folks like Gelly, folks like Dustin, Trout, that, ensure that I am able to live my purpose, which is to show you, not just tell you, that I am going to help you, that I am going to be someone you can count on. Yeah. And that veterans, children that are in unfortunate circumstances can count on folks from the Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce and the Phoenix Metro Chamber Foundation. So I also will say that I'm a marketing consultant for various organizations. So I help them with their brand awareness. I help them with business development, community outreach, event planning. So it provides me with the opportunity to utilize my previous academic professional experiences and be challenged at the same time. And I love showing someone that there is a new concept, there is a new idea, a new connection that's going to help bring them to another level in their career, in their life. So every day is a blessing for me. I'm grateful for who and what I have, and I love what I do every day, and I love the people I'm around, like Dustin Trout. So I'm very blessed every day.
No, that's awesome, and I love the perspective that it's just you're just blessed every day. I mean, really, it's whether you have a good day or a bad day. I think is all by choice, not the circumstances that happen. It's about your perspective and how you look at it. And you have an awesome perspective, and I think you know the name of the show, Rise, Grind, Repeat. I think you are. If you look up Rise, Grind, Repeat in the dictionary, you'll probably show up right next to the words. Getting started early on, 12 years old, full-time jobs, and all that. I see a lot of times where successful people they're called lucky, but if you really take a look at their path, it came from a lot of hard work. That is obviously instilled into your day to day. How did you? I guess I don't think it's something that's learned, but how did that come out at such an early age, and how have you had the consistency to continually, give 110% day in and day out? I mean, it's obviously apparent with all the foundations, all the everything that you're doing, and so how do you keep that work ethic going on a day-to-day basis?
Well, thank you for your kind words. I attribute my success, first of all, to my family, my friends, my clients, my mentors, and veterans, service members, and their families. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I always am a very disciplined person. When I say I'm going to do something, I follow through. I'm not going to give empty promises, and I am going to overdeliver in everything that I do. And I think for me, people are counting on me. And when someone counts on me and trusts me and builds a relationship with me, I want to give 150% to that person or that organization. And if I'm not doing something, all they have to do is communicate with me and say, hey, maybe look at it this way or give me some feedback, and then we're going to improve and we're going to keep learning, keep growing together. I love establishing solid, long-term, mutually beneficial relationships. That guides me every day, in personally, professionally, and it's something that I aspire to do as much as possible. I want to put myself out there. I want to make sure that I'm doing things that I wouldn't normally do. I want to make sure that I'm showing people that I'm a leader, and I'm demonstrating that through my actions, not just my words. So I think it's incumbent upon me to continue being proactive and positive in the face of an adversity or challenges or a pandemic in this case over the last year and a half. And I think, again, we all can offer something to each other. And I think for me, it's always been a passion to not have someone struggle like I did, to not have a veteran go into depression or PTSD, and to know that there are organizations and people like the Phoenix Metro Chamber Foundation, like Jason Bressler, who are going to be there for them, who are going to provide, again, that opportunity and that hope and that positive energy that they really need, and that appreciation that will go noticed. Because when someone does something for me or my family or my friends or my clients, I'm going to show them my appreciation, and I'm going to demonstrate that I'm lucky to be my parents' son. I'm lucky to be associated with folks like Gelly, with folks like Dustin Trout, with veterans that have given up their lives for me and their families who have sacrificed so much. And it just guides me in everything that I do. And that's why I've remained very consistent, very firm about what I do and how I do it. And I'm not going to, backpedal from a challenge and from adversity. I'm going to face it head on, and I'm going to work as hard as I can to show, not just say, that things can get done and things can improve and things will get better. And all we just need is communication, collaboration, and opportunity. And typically things happen if those are there.
No, I love it. I think one thing that stands out that you really mentioned is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think especially for new business owners, that gets tough, whether it be going out to an event that Gelly puts on and walking up to a stranger and just, how do I communicate and not be salesy? And I think it's something that I think a lot of business owners struggle with, but like everything with repetition, it gets easier and easier and easier. Do you have any advice on how one could try and get more comfortable with being uncomfortable?
Well, first of all, you have to not go in with a negative, pessimistic attitude. You have to go in with a very open, positive frame of mind. Not every experience is going to be like the past. Not every person is going to be like the past. Not every business transaction is going to be like the past. So you have to stop getting in your own way and take the time to really get to know someone and not focus on a transaction and focus on a relationship. And not everything happens overnight. Like you said so eloquently, it takes repetition. It takes you as a person opening yourself up and being you.
Yeah.
Don't pretend to be someone that you're not. And don't try to impress somebody, and don't make empty promises. And I think it's important that if you go in and you show who you really are, you're honest with yourself, you're honest with the other person or the other folks you're going to talk to, typically it works out.
Yeah.
Typically. And then there are going to be people that they already have their programming and it's going to be difficult for them to respond to you, but don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to be interested. Not everyone's going to like you. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that. I think people need to have an open mind overall, but I think that with business, it's really about the relationship. And I also will say, you can't sit behind a computer and behind a phone all the time. You have to really get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And that's why I love networking. That's why I love Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce, Networking Phoenix, the Southwest Veterans Chamber of Commerce, places that really understand the power of establishing and building healthy, mutually beneficial relationships and that encourage you to have the one-on-ones. You don't have to be around the Networking Phoenix crowd that we were at to build that relationship. You have it by doing the one-on-ones and visiting the person's office and understanding, wow, that person loves basketball. Wow, that person loves going skydiving. And you'll find things in common with them as you get to know the person. And then you build strong friendships even, not just business relationships, friendships, and maybe even other relationships that you never thought possible. So you never know who you can meet. You never know what can happen at a Networking Phoenix event, a Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce event, or a place you've never been to before. You just never know who you can meet. You never know what opportunity will come up. And if you keep an open mind, things can happen and will happen. I'm a perfect example of that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think I love the mentality, the perspective on life. I think just we were talking before this, the abundance versus scarcity, and I think you're obviously in the abundance mindset. I think that again is tough for a lot of people. I think a lot of people, especially what's happened in the last 12 months, from a mental perspective, I think there's been a lot to really dampen how you can be positive. And this is something that I'm very big on because I grew up playing baseball, and really the big thing through there was your skill set will get you through high school, but once you get past high school, the differences between those that get to the pros and don't is all right here in the mindset. And ever since then, it's something that I love working on. And really, like I said, anything that happens to you, it could be good, bad, sad, happy. It's your choice. And I think everyone's in control of that. How did you get such a great mindset, I guess? Or is there anything that someone can do to help strengthen that mindset to be more positive, to then not, be embarrassed or whatever it may be to go to the networking event?
Sure. So I think first of all, you have to remember, even if you fall flat on your face, it's not the end of the world. You're going to learn from that, right?
Yeah.
You're going to grow from that, right? So every experience has its positives. Every interaction has its positives. You just have to look at it a little differently. And I think you have to go in and say, well, if I meet 2 great people, that's a win. I don't have to meet 100 great people. That'd be nice. Everyone would love that. But it's not always realistic. Yeah. Set your expectations realistically. Don't go in saying, I'm going to meet 100 plus people, and then you meet 2 people and you're like, what did I come to this for? Yeah. No. Go in again, with that mindset that, you know what, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be me, genuine, real, honest, sincere. People will appreciate that. People will want to be a part of you and your organization if you're that way. That's how I've built relationships and now have, thankfully, so many mutually beneficial relationships, and some that are not, that I still would consider positive. But I think as long as you have to set your boundaries, your expectations a certain way, and then I think you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with what you really want out of this. You have to know your goals, know your target, know what's going to be a good fit, what's not going to be a good fit, who's a good connection and who's not a good connection. Also, find power partners, find resources, centers of influence. If they found me at the event, be happy to introduce them. Gelly, you need to meet this great guy, Dustin. Bill, you need to meet this great guy, Greg, or this great woman, Vicky. No problem. There's people out there that are going to say, who can I introduce you to? How can I help you? And usually the group leader, so when I'm at the Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce, I'm one of the group leaders. I'll introduce you to anybody you want. Make it very easy. Make it very welcoming and accommodating, as does Gelly. She'll do the same thing. And that's why I've worked with her for many, many years. Because, again, it's about providing an accommodating, friendly, welcoming environment. And so it doesn't always have to be, so tedious or hard or difficult. Search out for those folks that, and sometimes they'll give you the guest list. You'll say, oh my gosh, I have a plan to meet these 5 people that night, and maybe Gelly or Jason can help me find those people. And then it's positive. Yeah. It's positive. It's refreshing. It's different. It's new. It's exciting. And they're like, wow, I want to be a part of this. And it's not boring. And it's not, you don't have to be down during a pandemic. There are people that care. There are people that will make those connections. And all they have to do is seek us out. Yeah. I know I'm one of them. And if people contact me and say, I need a resource, I need a plumber, they'll have it right away. And they'll know that people like me and Gelly and Jack, who's the owner of the Chamber of Commerce, and Phil, the owner of Chamber of Commerce, we're here to support. We're here to help. So there are resources. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't say, oh, I can't do this. There are people that can help you. And there's workshops. There's education out there. There's seminars. There's lots of solutions. It's all right there waiting for you.
It's just a matter of, do you really, really want it? Because if you do, you'll figure out how to find it, whether it is something online, meeting someone, whatever it may be. But again, just the more you can meet that new person, all of a sudden, the more repetitions, it gets easier to give your little elevator pitch or what you do, and it just all becomes easier. But I think that the whole mindset of just get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and all of a sudden it just gets easier and easier, and also you'll find yourself to where it's like, wait, I don't feel uncomfortable. This feels weird to not have not pressure or whatever it may be to keep going.
Yeah, and I wasn't always this outgoing. I was very shy as a child, very reserved. I didn't really speak to anybody. But as you said so eloquently, if you practice, if you go out there and put yourself out there in a different kind of situation, it's not always uncomfortable, but something new, something different, it'll prepare you so well. And then you'll be like, wow, I can public speak. Wow, I can go to a networking event. Wow, I can do something I've never done before, and I feel good about it. And then you'll say, wow, I'm so glad I did that. Now I feel good. I have a very good skill level in public speaking, and this is great. Now I want to do it more, and now I want to go and network more, and now I want to go do these things I've never done or I thought I could do. But now, because of my positive attitude and my willingness to get out there and being open and being sincere and honest with yourself and others, it all works out. And other people will want that success for you, just like I've been so lucky to have, thanks to folks like Dustin Trout.
Absolutely. And I think one thing you keep bringing up is, Chamber of Commerce and all that. I struggled to wrap my head around, what is that? Early on. And so would love to kind of hear from you. What does a Chamber of Commerce do? How does it help the business community? Would love to just kind of.
So a Chamber of Commerce, there are different initiatives that some chambers have, but it's ultimately a group of folks that get together for various reasons, including networking, philanthropy, political initiatives, education. and other areas. So Chamber of Commerces were started way back, and folks knew they needed something social, they needed something for business, they needed something maybe philanthropic, and they have grown, and they have been a huge part of the economy, and a huge part of most cities, most states, even some countries. And the Chamber of Commerce that I started with my father is all about three things. It's about building the members' businesses, it's about philanthropy, and it's about education. Some chambers in the Valley are about politics. We don't endorse candidates and issues, they do. We also, some are for-profit, some are non-profit. We are a for-profit, which means we do not have to have a board of directors or a governing body saying this is the decision and that's it. Rather, our members make the decision. This is their chamber. This is their community. So everything we do is a direct result of what our members ask for and request, and what our community asks for and needs. So we focus on personalizing the experience, and we focus on empowerment and education and ensuring that folks can get out of their own way so they can network effectively. Collaboration and collaborating with amazing individuals and organizations like Gelly and Networking Phoenix, like Tom and the Southwest Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So some chambers, they're very much about their operations, and that's understandable. And we have a very holistic approach. And we believe that if we're successful in business, that we should be healthy personally, empowering ourselves and other people around us and other people that are important to us, and helping the community, people that are not as fortunate, animals that don't have homes, so they don't get euthanized. It all goes together, and we are a family, and we stand by each other, we support each other the best that we can, we think of each other, and if someone has a need, or if someone would like to gain knowledge on how to accomplish a business challenge, we are here to support them. And we are around the Valley. We're not just one area of the Valley. There's chambers that are focused on one specific area of the Valley, or city focused on one city, and that's it. We are all across the Valley, because our hope is to be Valley-wide and have chapters so you guys can really grow together in different areas of the Valley, and then we come together, as much as we want to come together, so we all win. And then again, collaborating with other organizations gives us more opportunity, and why not? So, but chambers are critical to your marketing, to your business growth, to just everything you do. And you can meet people that can teach you more about how to operate your business effectively and efficiently, or teach you about marketing on social media a different way. You just never know. And so it's truly a group of individuals and businesses that end up working together, and it's amazing. The partnerships, the opportunities, the clients, the business, the support in the community that, if you collaborate, happens. I mean, it's amazing.
Amazing things happen whenever you get a group of like-minded people and you figure out how to work together, and it can make huge impacts on the community. I mean, it comes down to, it sounds like every chamber is different in kind of what they're focused on, and it comes down to really understanding what are your goals, what is your future plan, because it sounds like that will have a direct correlation of kind of what chamber of commerce you kind of want to join and stuff like that. The thing I do love is the education side, like you mentioned. I mean, could help educate. That's part of why I got this going. Is, I mean, I'm very young as age wise, and even in business and stuff like that. And I mean, there's lots I've learned already just talking to you. And I think there's tons of value in education. And how has education played a role in kind of your growth as an entrepreneur, and how big of a piece is it for small business owners and really business growth?
Well, education is critical. You can never stop learning. Technology, for instance, is changing every day, as we all know. If you don't keep learning that technology, you're going to be behind and not be able to service your clients. So in the end, we always need to improve ourselves. And so I've been in seminars about personal professional development. I've been in seminars about technology. it is critical to the continued growth of your business and the continued growth of yourself and you as a professional. I have never professed that I'm perfect in anything or know everything. You're always learning as a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a person. So my education at Arizona State to my education in seminars all have contributed to my success, and I'm grateful for each and every opportunity. I think that more education is never a bad thing, and I think with a Chamber of Commerce, with even Gelly's group, there are opportunities to continually educate, and we try our best, but we always look for more opportunities. We're always learning too, as business owners and as networking organizations and community organizations. But I can't really think of anything that I've done professionally or personally where my education has not helped. And if folks need ideas about how to educate or opportunities that are out there, I know that our Chamber of Commerce and our foundation has those opportunities. Also our members and our clients. My clients have several opportunities in my marketing business. And I'm always happy, again, to be a resource. And I know a lot of the folks I work with, I can speak with, they are also. They have those opportunities, whether it's a consultation of how to start up a business to a consultation on social media. It's all there. But again, being open to those opportunities and being open to constructive feedback is very important, as you know. So, but I'm happy to be a mentor to you, to anyone, because without having the mentors myself, I wouldn't be as successful as I am today. And from being a big brother when I was younger to being a mentor for a couple of folks that I mentor right now, it's an amazing experience and rewarding for me to educate you or to educate those folks. And so that's another thing. People can be a mentor. They may not think they can, but they can. And that really helps. And that also builds their education and builds their knowledge. And there are a lot of opportunities there that I think business owners and professionals and people can really take advantage of if they take the time to do that for someone. And that has been a part of my life and my career as well that has enabled me to be as successful as I am today as well.
No, that's great. And funny you bring up mentorship. I feel like that probably comes up on 85% of these episodes that, I mean, people that are out there doing, there is some form of mentorship, whether it's they're deploying it or received it at some point in their career. So obviously it's a huge aspect to really, I mean, outside perspective, if you're open to taking that feedback, I mean, is huge. So, and I think a lot of people can understand that and see why it's important. How do you go about finding, I guess, a good mentor? Because I mean, you can find anyone off the street, but is it a good fit? I mean, I guess, is there good and bad mentors, and how do you find the right one, essentially?
Well, what I would suggest is make a list. Make a list of what you would like to get out of a mentor, what you're looking for from a mentor. Understand what first, before anything, what are your challenges? What characteristics would you like in a mentor? And once you have that, think about who's in your database. You may know the person directly, or you may know someone who knows that person. Maybe you want to sharpen your knowledge in accounting. Maybe you want to refine your social media skills. Maybe you want a person that's more outgoing versus maybe more reserved. Maybe you want someone that is involved in the community, that shares the same passions as you do. Maybe you want somebody that is in a certain area of the valley or covers a certain region in their position. A lot of things to think about. Yeah. You really want to think about those things. Maybe you have a goal of growing nationally and you want to talk to someone who's built a national organization versus a local organization. There are a lot of factors, obviously, that you can consider. Obviously, I would interview and talk to them maybe 1, 2, 3 times if you have to, really figure out whether this person is a fit and has the time. Yeah. Because some people say they have the time, but you find out they don't, or they don't call you back, or they don't email you back, you just want to make sure that both folks are invested in that relationship and mentorship. And then I would just say, you want to meet someone that that is going to take a vested interest in you as the mentee, and that will, obviously be an example for you as a business leader or owner or entrepreneur or person. Depends on what you're looking for, but I think you can find those mentors, and whether it be at a networking event, whether it be through a college or university, whether it be through a networking opportunity or a community opportunity, or maybe something philanthropic, or through a family member even, maybe they know somebody, you just never know, or a friend or a team member. There are folks that I wouldn't have thought would have been mentors for me, but now they are, and it's amazing. It's truly amazing what they've taught me and how they've guided me, and I'm so grateful and blessed. And I encourage everyone out there to consider getting a mentor, to continue with the current mentor, to maybe talk to these folks and uncover things that you never thought possible. Like I said before, that's why I love what I do, because you never know what idea you could give someone that propels them to the next step in their career, that helps their families be even happier, that helps the world be a better place, that helps improve the lives of veterans, the lives of children, families, and animals. You just don't know.
Yeah. That's the fun part, is like just ideating, and then over the years, it's that one idea that I got helped me grow 5x. Just being part of those conversations and being the person or the thought that helped guide them there, I think would be such a good feeling. That it would be huge. But again, it goes back to, from what it sounds like, taking a step back and what are your goals and what are you trying to do? And I think it's a huge piece is the goal setting, and that really helps dictate a lot of what we've been talking about, the type of mentor that you partner with, your marketing, all those things. And how big has goal setting been a part of your life? How do you go about it? Because I think everyone can agree. I understand it's important, but I think the biggest struggle is, all right, I need to do it myself. Where do I start? Is it 5-year plans, 30-day plans? I guess what is the best approach?
Wow, it varies, but I would say, you have to understand where you've been first and where you're going, and really evaluate. Okay, I at this certain revenue point, or I am at this juncture. I have this many offices. I have this many employees, team members. Start there. And then I write down a lot of activities that are significant progress. And then I also write down my goals and where and what those goals look like and how are we going to get there. So I think with the help of, certainly people that are involved in the process, because they're going to think of things that I'm not going to think of maybe all the time or half the time. And then looking at the data, understanding where I've been, where I want to go, and really, I'm a little sometimes aggressive with my goals, I guess best way to put it. But maybe just, you don't want to put the pressure on yourself too much. You don't want to make it too difficult, too not unrealistic. But writing it down and keeping track of activities and understanding where things came from, opportunities came from, understanding, okay, these are my targets, understand, and then evaluating those targets based on what's been successful, what's not been successful. But I think you start with your 30-day plan and then you work your way out. That's how I do it. I don't honestly, with the pandemic and everything that's happened, it's hard to really plan right now. So I think it's it's a pretty challenging thing overall, even without the pandemic, to really go too far out. I encourage people to just kind of be realistic with how far out they can really go at this point, because everything changes, as we all know and we discussed. So I would just say, write it down, save it on your computer, type it up, make a spreadsheet, diary. Make sure that you understand, if you're not hitting something, keep evaluating those goals, keep looking at those goals, find opportunities or identify ways that you can get closer to your goals if you're not there, or keep doing what's working. And if it's working, keep on it, because that's going to keep you going, and try to stay focused. You're not going to get every client all the time. You're not going to be able to go to every networking event. You have things to do as an entrepreneur, business owner. So, obviously when it's time, you can get more help, invest in more infrastructure, whatever that may look like. And throughout that time, you need to be talking to a CPA, an attorney, and business professionals who are working on your team besides your actual team members. Those folks are going to have the knowledge and the information that you need, so you can make decisions about what your goals will be, and make sure that you're exceeding your goals, not just meeting them.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I mean, I'm sure that your list is very lofty and well planned out. And I mean, that being said, what are some of your goals from a personal perspective, and even with the foundation? And I mean, everyone tries to look 4 or 5 years, but as we know, that can change really quickly. So, I mean, maybe looking 3-6 months down the road, what are some of the goals that you're trying to accomplish or work on accomplishing?
Well, our goal for the foundation is to raise $100,000 a year for various charities. We're very close. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer and closer, which is great. I mean, this is going into our 5th year, so we're getting, bigger and bigger and improving while we're going. But we also want to eventually hire a full-time staff, to manage the foundation's operation and truly allow it to be a legacy. We also want to, I would say, regularly schedule volunteer efforts. Right now it's been, because of the pandemic, very limited, but we want to get back to doing 2 to 4 volunteer efforts a month, where groups in the community, our team, can join together to help these various causes and organizations that really need it. We want to build committees that are healthy and running, that help children's causes, animal causes, veterans causes, and they function on their own. I don't need to, micromanage. Our board doesn't need to micromanage or any of that. If we want to do something in honor of someone, or if we want to go work on a project, just go do it. Because that's our goal, is to get out there and be as visible and helpful and impactful as we can. So those are some of the goals foundation-wise. Personally, I would like to meet the woman of my dreams and have a lifelong marriage. I know she's out there, and I'll be the luckiest man in the world if and when I do meet her. I want my parents, my friends, my clients always to be healthy and successful. It's very important to me. I want to continue learning and staying active. I want to continue volunteering in the community on my own. Besides with the foundation, I have a lot of volunteer efforts that I do on my own that are very important to me. I want to continue running a successful business, and hopefully be able to be in a position where I can retire early and help the community even more. Because if people support me, that will happen. And this is, this foundation and everything I've done throughout my life. Yes, it's all because of hard work, but if I'm able to focus on it even more impact will be made for businesses, charities, and our community. So that the goal is to do so much in my business that in the end, I'm just going to give it back to the other people that got me there and give it back to the community. So, and I would just say, I have always wanted to help my parents retire and not have to worry about anything. It's very important to me. I don't want them to ever think that they have to work another day in their life, because I'll go get another job. I'll go start another business. That doesn't bother me. You know, as you now know, I mean, I'm going to work as hard as I can, so they don't have to work as hard. And then I would just say, overall, providing that hope, that support, that opportunity to people that may not have what I'm so lucky to have, because I want to give back 100 times more. I want to make sure that people know there are other people that do care, that are not about themselves, that are going to genuinely help and have no expectations. I'm already going to get rewards by helping somebody else be successful and paying it forward, and helping a veteran that came back and gave their life to me and to my family. So that's all important to me. And I would just say, overall, I really want our world to be more collaborative. I really want our world to understand that if we're collaborative, anything's possible. And I think it's something that I've struggled with all my life, is why can't we be collaborative? Yeah. Why can't we work together? And I know we're all programmed a certain way, and we all have responsibilities, and we all have, but I would love, my goal would be to be a part of that transformation. Yeah. Because it is possible. But you have to have, again, an open mind. You have to be positive. You have to be willing to share. And I have always been willing to share. I have always been willing to give. And I'm going to keep doing that, even if there are folks that don't want to collaborate. But my goal would be to continue to grow the movement of collaboration and paying it forward. It's very, very important to me.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. And I mean, big goals, but I mean, it's so selfless, and the hard work that you have, how well, you network and get connected. I have no doubt. And I can't wait to watch you accomplish those goals. And I couldn't agree more. I think there is so much opportunity in this world to work together. And I think so many good things could happen from, I mean, homelessness to not even just small things, but big world impacts could happen if we just work together a little bit more. And I think, I don't know how you teach that or whatever it may be, but I think we're getting there. I think the whole Web 3.0 social media has helped start it in a way, but I think people are just seeing the power of connectiveness. And I think over time we'll get to that point to where, we are a lot more collaborative and a lot of good stuff will happen. And I have no doubt that you're going to be the forefront of that charge. And that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm truly blessed to be in that position, and I will continue to advocate and make sure that people are going to collaborate, and at least if they come across me, and then show them the power and not just tell them, and then it all works out, because together we're better, and together we're going to make that greater impact, and together we're going to be more successful. And I'm sure there's a lot I can learn from everyone, and I want them to learn from me, not just learn by what I say, but what I do. And it's always been, so incredibly uplifting to see when collaboration happens, because businesses get going, relationships get better and healthier, people are happier. I love that. And and I just get to watch it and see marriages happen, see business partnerships happen, see businesses grow, see families get closer. It's so important. I can't say enough about it.
Yep, I agree. And I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people that want to reach out, connect with you and everything. How can someone connect with you? And here's your chance to shout out yourself, the foundation, anything you want, handles, websites.
Sure.
Go for it.
Thank you. Well, you can contact me on social media. First of all, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. It's Jason Bressler, Bressler. You can find me with the Phoenix Metro Chamber Foundation, which is pmc.foundation. We also have a Facebook and LinkedIn page that folks can follow and be a part of. You can find me at the Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce, which is phoenixmetrochamber.com. Again, you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and I'm happy to be reached at jason@pmc.foundation or jason@phoenixmetrochamber.com. My cell phone number is 602-561-2348. As many folks know, I literally work all the time. I rarely sleep, and I'm constantly working on something or helping someone, and I love it. So, and then if anyone ever needs any advice, marketing help, consulting work, or any other input, please feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to be a resource. I'm more than happy to provide a connection who can provide that resource to you or your business or your family or your friends or your team members. And and I'm just very happy and blessed that I could be on today's podcast. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Awesome. You are rising, grinding, and repeating. That is for sure. And Jason, it's been so great to get to learn more about you and what you're doing. And this has been a great episode. You're doing a whole lot for the community, and would love to figure out how how we can help deliver your message more. So love what you're doing, and can't wait to watch the growth. So thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me, and I love what you're doing too with your team.
Awesome. Thank you.